Yo, what's up, guys? Just doing a little part two here of the little updated end of tier wrap up. This is just going to be more of the rotation and shit, putting it into practice. Finally, the one last thing on my UI that I'll talk about here is my raid frame. I think it is important to have, even as a DPS, you want to make sure you have raid frames just to know who's alive and who's doing what, who's out of range, who's not in line of sight. I mean, obviously, misdirect is one thing we can do, but just I don't know. It's just that's good information to have because you might change what you're doing based on who's dead or who's doing what. So having a raid frame is good. And this is mine. This is the Blizzard default one. That's one of the only things I use with the Blizzard default, and I really like it. It's been great. And then quickly, I just want to move my face here. So my chat pane, this is my normal chat pane. This is like everything that I actually really look at. So this is guild chat, officer chat, whispers, raid chat, and party chat. And I think that is it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So let me move my face back. And then this other little one you can see down at the bottom right, that I call it stuff. That is like trade chat. That's general chat, local defense. That's boss and minion or like mob talking. So like when the boss yells and shit, it shows up in that chat. Because I still like to read that shit. It's like, oh, cool, he's yelling at me, you know? But like I just don't want it in my main chat window. So that's actually one little thing that I did really early on in my career. I mean, I think it was probably right at the beginning of Burning Crusade when I was really starting to focus playing World of Warcraft. I was like, you know what? I should make a second chat window for just all the bullshit. Mostly trade chat. That was what it was for. Although trade chat, I feel like nowadays trade chat is completely fucking irrelevant and has no meaning. But that was kind of what that's for, just to kind of like for looting and like, you know, gold and like honor and experience and bullshit, just all the little messages that aren't really that important, but you might still want to look at them. That's why I have a second chat window. So that was the only thing I wanted to do. So just with the rotation now, we are obviously here. We're doing my favorite boss. It is Opulence. Oh, I love this boss so much. It's so fun. It's so great because you got a lot of movement, a lot of shit to do. Like you got to make sure you're not getting fucked up by some mechanics, but it's also just like a fun DPS check. You get to do a lot of DPS at the end of the fight, obviously. So here we go. So pull timer 10. Most people do a pull timer 10. If you really, really, really want to maximize your DPS, like, you know, that 0.0001% extra, make them do like a 15-second pull timer. That way you can precast double tap at about 12 seconds. Remember, the double tap buff, it actually lasts for 15 seconds. So if you precast it at about 12 seconds, that means as it's counting down and then you're casting aim shot, it won't clip at the end, because if double tap expires before you've fired aim shot, it won't fire the second aim shot. So anyway, just make sure you get it in time. So basically, you want to just double tap as early as you can. I usually misdirect right at 5 seconds, maybe 4 seconds, just to make sure that I get everything in order. You want to make sure that you are pre-casting at 3 seconds here. So I'm precasting at 3 seconds. As you well know from this last video, it's 2.18 seconds on my aim shot. I mean, if you're not at high haste levels like I am, then it might be longer, obviously. But that's about right at 3 seconds. So like when it hits 3, it's already at 2.99, like before you've even reacted. So it's like probably 2.5 about when you have actually casted the aim shot, and then it has travel time, and it's basically right at 0. So I've been doing 3 seconds. That's also when you would pre-pot at 3 seconds. So, but you want to make sure you misdirect. So, aim shot. You finish the aim shot, and then you're right into rapid fire. Now, this is actually a really good example. This is going to be a long video, by the way, because I'm going to go pretty in-depth to this rotation. Hopefully it doesn't change too much in Ajara. But right when you finish aim shot, you're going to go right into rapid fire. You're not going to do the arcane shot yet. You're going to do rapid fire because it's there's a few reasons, but you want to just make sure you're getting rapid fire on cooldown, because that's like, it's a 20-second cooldown, so you want to make sure you're using it immediately, basically always. There's a few times when you wouldn't, basically in careful aim, but I mean, you really always want to be using rapid fire. But this is a good video for examples of when to use it and then when not to use it, and I'll actually show that. And in the last video you saw I have 2 in the rhythm traits, and the in the rhythm trait is when you finish casting rapid fire, which means you have to finish the cast. You can't interrupt the cast early, by dying or getting fucking blown up or being bad. If you interrupt it early, you do not get in the rhythm, and that fucking trait is really powerful. And if you are not fully casting your rapid fires, then you are really fucking up. And even if the target, for example, if you turn around and you're not actually hitting the target with your rapid fire, but it's still casting, it'll still give you the in the rhythm buff. So as long as that cast bar just ends, then boom, you get the buff. So the big thing with rapid fire, you can cast it while moving. So here you can see when I finish my aim shot, I start casting rapid fire and I immediately start moving. Because movement, I'm really gonna, I'm gonna really blow some minds right now. Moving is a DPS increase. It really is. Moving at the right times, and not just with marksmanship. Marksmanship is a great example of it, but like Warlock and Frost Mage, not really Shadow Priest. They have pretty quick casts, but some other classes, like moving at the right time when you are casting instant cast spells or channeled spells where you can move. If you're moving during those times to an area where it's like, I need to be here, but I also need to cast, like it's just a good idea to do that. So what you can see here, I move into the room just to kind of make sure I'm inside and I'm not getting locked out, and then I'm going to pop Trueshot. So the big reason that you're doing rapid fire here is to have the in the rhythm buff during Trueshot. So when Trueshot begins, having the in the rhythm buff is really, really good. And again, you also want to be at about 95 or more focus when you are hitting Trueshot, or basically when you're casting your first aim shot. You want to make sure you're at 95 or more focus. And I don't always adhere to that rule. I mean, it's just a good rule of thumb. You want to make sure you're trying to do that. But here, you want to make sure that basically Trueshot is a global cooldown. And again, I'm going to get really nitpicky here. I'm going to really go in depth to this. Trueshot is a global cooldown. So you're not doing any fucking damage at all. Literally nothing. You are auto-attacking, and that's it, while you are casting aim shot, or Trueshot, I'm sorry. So when you do the global for Trueshot, again, that's another time when you could just keep moving somewhere just for that global, or just make sure you're doing whatever the fuck, because you can't cast any spells during that global cooldown. And then with Galecaller's Boon, for example, you want to use Galecallers at the end of that global cooldown. You don't want to use it like during the global cooldown, because it's just wasted. You're wasting like 0.2, 0.3, even half a second. You're just wasting half a second of uptime. So you want to use it right at the end of the global cooldown, and then right when you're starting to cast the aim shot. So the aim shot now with Trueshot and the Galecaller's Boon, it's 0.8 seconds, so it's really fast. So here, now this is a good example. This is really the only time I'm going to pause this much in this video, because I just wanted to show this. This is a great example of movement using DPS and stuff, and like what I was talking about in the last video. So he is doing a crush, and if you've seen my opulence video, I've talked about it so fucking much. His crush is 180 degrees, and it looks like it might hit me. I mean, I don't know. I'm not 100% safe here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get hit or not. So when I finish this aim shot, I'm going to move left, and you can see I have already started casting rapid fire, and then I move left, and you can see I have actually moved out. I moved out of my Galecaller's Boon buff. Remember, because that buff is on the ground, and you have to stand in the zone to get the Galecaller's Boon buff. But all you can do, you can dodge the mechanic, and it looks like I probably would have gotten stunned there, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It was close. I moved out while I was casting rapid fire, and then I moved back in, and then I cast aim shot. So you can move out and then back in, and it's just like, that's all you have to do. It's just make sure you're moving when you're supposed to be moving. For example, if I had just, first of all, like not cast that aim shot and just said like, oh, I better get out first, And then if I didn't move back in, like that movement, that would have really, I would not have gotten another aim shot. I would have missed an entire fucking aim shot. And that's what? That's at least, I mean, it's in careful aim. That's at least 50,000 damage. That's a lot of damage. To be skipping that kind of damage, habitually, that's how you're going to be a really bad DPSer, or at least just average. If you want to be great, you have to make sure you're maximizing those little moves and make sure you're casting while moving, obviously, all that shit. So I'm doing aim shot here. I get my volatile charge. We're gonna wait for the flame jet to end and then move into the corner. And so, for example, there, I know that I'm going to move into the corner, so I'm not going to start casting an aim shot and be like, oh shit, I need to move now. I'm going to plan ahead and be like, I'm going to cast aim shot after I move or before I move. There, I did double tap an aim shot. You want to try and double tap rapid fire when you can, but you just want to use double tap basically right when it's up, especially with a long fight like this one. If it's like a patchwork, like execute, or, just like a single target patchwork type fight, you might save it. You might think about more, you might think more critically about when you're using it. But there, it just works that way. So importantly here as well, the boss is at 71%. He phases every 10%. So he's about to phase, and you can see my Trueshot is up right now. So I should use it, right? So I'm going to use Trueshot. And again, that global cooldown, I'm in my global cooldown right now, and I'm moving. I'm moving during the global cooldown because there's nothing else to do. There's just nothing fucking to do. So just move and then get into a spot. I pop my Galecallers again, and then I'm going into my rotation. Now, the Trueshot rotation with Galecallers, it does get a little spicy. So, for example, here, I made the decision to, at the end of this Trueshot, basically when you're at the end of Trueshot, that's when you start making a lot of decisions. So it's either you're going to aim shot, arcane, aim shot. Now, when I cast this aim shot, you can see right here, I have finished casting this aim shot. I have two choices. I can do arcane shot, or I can do rapid fire. And remember, with unerring vision, I think I'm at 66% crit. You can see it in my window there. I'm at 66% crit, so it's like, I mean, I'm going to crit probably with whatever I end up doing. So here, I'm going to go ahead and go with an arcane shot. I mean, that's questionable. I could have gone rapid fire and gotten a rapid fire for this last 2.5 seconds, and not only would it have been critting more probably, but it also would have been on cooldown quicker. But I just went for the arcane shot, and then into rapid fire, and I got, I cut off about 4 seconds of the cooldown there using the Trueshot buff. But, those are little decisions that you might make and be like, I think I should do arcane shot now because if Trueshot is about to end, if it has like 0.3 seconds left and you have already cast aim shot, then it's like, well, I'm not going to cast rapid fire because it's not really going to do anything. I would rather cast an arcane shot, have it hit the boss and crit using the unerring vision buff than just doing a rapid fire, which might crit with the first tick. But remember, rapid fire per tick only does what, like 4,000 damage, so doubled that with a crit is 8,000. So I get 4,000 damage by doing rapid fire, or if I cast an arcane shot and it crits, that's an extra like 20,000 damage. And again, those little choices, it starts adding up. I mean, we already talked about 50,000 earlier, and now we're talking about 20,000, and that's already 70,000. I mean, it's probably happened again already. So by the end of this, I'm sure there's like hundreds of thousands of damage that we could have skipped if we just played a tiny bit differently. So anyway, we're just going to our regular old rotation here. He's crushing again. I'm going to move out of that. Aim shot. Don't let your aim shot hit 2 charges. So you want to use it when you are free, and then you don't want to be using it when you are constricted by movement. So when you have to move, you should already have used your aim shots, hopefully. So you want to make sure, of course, you have high focus in times of aim shot dumps. Because if like, for example, I'm about to move into this room up here, so like that'll be a good time to be casting aim shot if I need to, so I can kind of plan ahead with that. And I'm doing another Trueshot here. I'm going to do, so there, that was an interesting choice as well. So this, let's kind of see how it works, but I'll explain what happened here. So I'm finishing a rapid fire here, and now I'm going aim shot, arcane, aim shot, arcane. Now, I just finished arcane shot, and you can see I have 29 focus, but it's 30 focus. 30 focus is aim shot. But I have 4.3 seconds left on Trueshot. 4.3 seconds is pretty long, and I'm already way down at 30 focus. So what I'm going to do here, instead of casting aim shot, like I could cast aim shot right here and get another aim shot, right? Well, what I'm going to do instead is do rapid fire, a full rapid fire, and then look, I still have 1 second of Trueshot left, and then cast the aim shot. Now, the aim shot, I don't think it caught the unerring vision. Like, I think unerring vision buff fell off before my aim shot hit the target. So, I mean, that was close. That was like within a quarter second of, you know, getting another maybe 40,000 damage if that aim shot had crit using the unerring vision, you know, crit buff. But, you know, those things, those are just little tiny changes. But doing it the way I did it means that aim shot or rapid fire is now on cooldown. I'm pretty sure, right? I didn't just get a lucky proc. Oh, I did. Okay, so fuck everything I just said. I got a lucky surging shots proc, but if I hadn't, it would have worked out fine. Just trust me on that. We're gonna double tap aim shot here. So this right here, I've already chosen that I'm going to be in this corner and drop this lightning ball in the corner, but he's crushing my face right now. And I think this crush actually won't hit me because on heroic it's not as wide. I'm just so used to mythic. It's pretty wide on mythic. So I am going to steady shot and then turtle. So this is turtle. And if I had been in range of this crush, I don't know if I was or not. This mage next to me doesn't get crushed, so I don't think I was. I wouldn't have gotten hit by it. So I used my turtle there. I mean, that was stupid, but whatever. Just one thing to notice here, I turtle quickly, and then I cancel aura turtle immediately. If you know that you're getting blasted, and then there's nothing else like after, it's just like one big blast, and then nothing else, you want to immediately cancel aura aspect of the turtle. So so the command, the actual macro is / cancel aura, one word, space, capital aspect, lowercase of, lowercase the, capital turtle. So making sure that you have a cancel aura for turtle, and of course this goes for some other classes as well. Some other specs have immunities or something like that, which is maybe a DPS loss to have it, but it reduces damage you take. So if you're not taking any damage anymore, you want to immediately cancel it. Obviously a big one is ice block. Ice block is another huge one where you ice block the big blast, but then ice block lasts for like another 6 seconds, but I'm not doing anything. So just cancel aura, ice block, and then, you know, keep doing damage. That's really important. That's really, really important to like cancel aura, because again, if I had had turtle up this whole time, I would have missed maybe another 50,000 damage. So here I did grab Opal. Obviously I grab Opal. It's my favorite boss, and I love my Opal, and do a lot of damage. Yay, buddy. So here, now this is the sort of time to death decision. Trueshot, so with Opulence, there's a few things to think about. Trueshot is extremely important to have up during the ad phase. You don't want to use Trueshot at a time where it would be on cooldown during the ads. So you want to make sure you have it available for when the ads spawn on the last boss, you know, whatever, the big Opulence dude. So here it's like, okay, there's 18 seconds on Trueshot, so I can probably use it, right? But I mean, the boss is already at 24, so it's going to be close. I mean, it's going to be like a close sort of decision. Do I want to use Trueshot here and hopefully get the cooldown reset by the time I need it on the ads, or do I just want to save it? I'm going to go ahead and go just man mode here. I'm going to do rapid fire with my In the Rhythm, and then just go into my Trueshot Galecoller's Boon. Ooh, wow, 143. Ooh, 143. Oh, come on, baby. Okay, 73,000. Come on. 136. Yay. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I did go for Trueshot there. So now my job now is to reset the cooldown on Trueshot. So you're going to see me start skipping aim shots. I would have been casting an aim shot there at the end of that little mini boss to kind of get another aim shot in, but instead I'm just going to be spamming arcane shot, because of our talent. What is it even called? I kind of forget what that talent is called. Calling the shots, right? Yeah, the last tier. But every time you cast Arcane Shot, it reduces the cooldown of fucking Trueshot by what? 2 seconds, right? I forget. So on Opulence, it's really important, and Opulence is a good way to practice this because there are other bosses where it might be relevant on. It is most relevant on Opulence, but it's good to practice knowing like how to reset Trueshot. So I'm a little late here. I am late, but fortunately this is only the first wave, ad wave, so it's not like big damage is going on right now. There's a few things wrong here you can see. I'm at 55 focus, so I'm kind of low focus. I need a little bit more focus. And I'm still 4 seconds on Trueshot. But he's already halfway through casting Spirits of Gold. The dream is to finish the Trueshot Global before he finishes casting Spirits of the Gold. Because remember, globals, they don't do any damage during Trueshot. Like, you know, that Trueshot Global doesn't do damage. So, like, that's a really good time to just, if you have a 1 second downtime of just not doing anything, just use that as the Trueshot Global. And I'm doing this because that's like the global countdown. You know, that's why I'm doing. It's like global cooldown. Okay. So he's casting here. I'm gonna finish a rapid fire here because I want the in the rhythm buff and then go into my big blast Trueshot and stuff. So that's what I wanted to plan. So here, unfortunately, you know, people like demon hunters and shit, they have already gotten their first damage global in, but I'm behind right now. I'm behind by almost a global and a half at least. I mean, maybe even 2 globals if you count multi-shot as kind of a weak global, just because that sets up my cleave. But we're going to do aim shot, aim shot, aim shot, and then double tap a rapid fire. I mean, double tapping an aim shot, I don't know, it could have been okay there. I mean, that's questionable because it would have been in careful aim on the boss. But that's no big deal. But again here, I'm going to be ignoring aim shot a lot because I'm going to be using most of my focus on arcane shots just to reset my buff, reset my Trueshot cooldown. He's doing Whale Agreed. I no longer have the 5 stack of the damage buff, so that's too bad. The healing buff, the Amethyst, right? I forget, or Sapphire, I forget which one it is. That guy got Coin Shower. He's just going to stay in. So here you can see my entire rotation is just getting focus and then dumping focus into arcane shots because I want to reset fucking Trueshot. So I haven't even like aim shot. I've gone through like 4 aim shots without casting it right now. So here I did a lot better. So here I finished casting my rapid fire. I'm at 83 focus. I mean, let's see. When I'm casting, I mean, I'm at 80. And that's okay, but remember when you have multiple enemies and you have the focused fire. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all the names of this fucking traits and talents. If you have the focused fire trait, remember that your rapid fire is going to be getting a lot more focus back. So don't really worry too much if you have an AoE pack that you're about to rapid fire, because you're going to get a lot of extra focus back, and you'll be fine if you start with, you know, a little bit less than normal. So there we're going to do the same thing. Aim shot, aim shot, aim shot, and then double tap a rapid fire. And obviously I'm cleaving all these, so it's multi-shot and not arcane shot. And that's the end. Basically, that's the end of the boss because we're not going to get another ad phase, so I'm just going to keep doing damage. I'm at 47,000 right now. Obviously, this is just such a fun boss because you get to do so much damage here at the end. Like, aim shot is hitting for 113k non-crit. I don't know, it's just fun, man. This is fun. Like, this is why we play the game. It's just have some big old fatty DPS here. Look at my fucking what is it? Rapid fire critting for 34,000. Man, I wish I could do that like without a buff, just like normal. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the rotation. I didn't obviously go into specifics about every little thing I did, but you can just watch my bar and just watch my movement. That's the big part of this. If you need to, like, watch it in slow motion. I mean, everything I'm doing here is mostly correct. I mean, there's always little things that you can improve on and a lot of that shit is what I talked about. But the big differences in DPS are going to be like when you're using your cooldowns and making sure you're getting 2 cooldowns in like, and using the second one right at the end instead of just using one cooldown. Because if you can get 2 full true shots instead of just one, then it's obviously much better. But you need to make sure you really plan that and know ahead of time that, like, okay, I know I can fit this true shot in, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. Because if you use true shot too early, and for example, you don't get one during the execute phase of a boss, I mean, that sucks. That's a big waste because it's all, you know, it's like at least 33% more effective during execute, during your careful aim, than it is like during not. So, you know, that's something to really think about. But yeah, that's my favorite boss, Opulence. I think I've covered basically everything for Hunter this tier for marksmanship. Next tier, I probably will look at some of the Ajara PTR loot maybe next week or something, and then I will, you know, maybe look at some other shit. But the moment they release any new Azerite traits, that I will look at those. I will also post some PTR testing of the, what are they called? The new essences. So some of the essences, I didn't really try all of them, like a lot. I just kind of found which ones I think were doing the most damage at the time, although I think those are going to change as well. So, you know, when I post those, just take it with a grain of salt because they'll probably change. And when they do change and there's a final version, I'll try to look at those and be like, okay, these will probably be the best, but we won't really know until really like Mythic comes out and we are playing in Mythic Ajara for the first week. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you later.